Update. Am I the a-hole for skipping my own birthday dinner? Original post. So a little backstory. I, 25 female, and my husband Vernon, 36, have been married for 5 years. It was arranged by my grandfather and his uncle. We are not Americans, so it's common here. Vernon wasn't too thrilled about the marriage, and he made it very clear because he was already in a relationship with Felicity, 30s female. Long story short, Vernon, his family, and Felicity did their best to make my life hell, while my dumb self was stuck on the idea that one day he might change. About 3 years ago, I found out I was pregnant and I was excited, but he wasn't. Given we only been intimate a handful of times before that, so he got into his head that it wasn't his. The baby had complications and I had to get a medical abortion. Not once did he or his family came to the hospital, and I guess that opened my eyes and I just stopped caring. I stopped trying. Then early last year, he suddenly started caring, coming home early, calling me, bringing me flowers, and it was quite uncomfortable for me. Then he tells me that he's had a change of heart and wants to try to better our marriage because he's developed feelings for me? It's all fishy, to be honestly. I wouldn't trust this man as far as I can throw him. He's been doing these little things, and I just can't help but think there's a joke coming at my expense. Now on to the story. It was my birthday last weekend, and Vernon told me his family was hosting me a birthday dinner. I told him I wasn't comfortable with that, and the last time I was at his parents', they literally told me my baby's complications were my fault and kicked me out because Felicity was uncomfortable. Not to mention that they haven't apologized, just started acting friendly. I kept telling him no, but he kept insisting. Then he let it go, and I assumed that was that. So I made plans and went out with my mom and cousins, and he starts calling me asking me where I am. I tell him, and he tells me that he's waiting for me. What? Long story short, his family is mad that I skipped because they apparently wanted to apologize so that we could move forward. And Vernon keeps saying he understands why I did it, but he has been apologizing for everything and nothing. And last night, Felicity called to cuss me out because they left her high and dry, and Vernon wants nothing to do with her. So maybe they did want to apologize. I thought I was in the right, but now even my cousins are telling me I was wrong for skipping, and now I'm doubting myself. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Did I get this right? Arranged marriage, but your husband already had a girlfriend? He treats you poorly and doesn't believe this kid is his? I know you lost it, but it's still sad. You and his family don't get along. I hope you can get out and find someone who truly loves you. Not a-hole. If it was arranged, that may not be an option. That is what makes this much more sad. Info cause I'm nosy. Why doesn't his family like you, or at least tolerate you, if they are the ones who made the arrangements? Was it that the uncle was the patriarch and his parents felt they had no choice but to go along? Like, what is their endgame? To get you to call quits so it won't be their son's fault the marriage failed? Yes, his uncle is the head of the family and doesn't like Felicity because she's not from our culture. Vernon didn't go against his uncle because it would lead to his shunning. Marrying me had benefits, such as the house we live in and a piece of land in the farming areas. So I guess that was it. His uncle mentioned to the family that the only way the marriage would end was if I was to initiate it. I didn't know about any of this, and everything has started making more sense now. Not a-hole. Even if they were sincere, a birthday party is not the place to apologize. I understand your hesitation, as that's perfect place for ambush. They can come to you and apologize if that was their intent. Also, block the girlfriend. Why was she still around if he's now married? He's love bombing you. Find out why. I ask, and all he says is he wants to make amends and make up for lost times. Like that's my fault. Felicity is blocked and will stay so. No, he wants something. Don't trust him. See if there's any way out from this situation. Maybe a women group that can help you escape. Now for the first update. Wow, I wasn't expecting this to get as much attention as it has. I am overwhelmed, and I'm sorry if I don't manage to reply to everyone. Thank you for your kind words and advice. Some more info on my family because I saw repeating questions in the comments. My family didn't know about most of what was going on, as I chose to not tell them, but they still found out and are still willing to handle the effects of me leaving. But I can't let them do that. Everyone is happy and this would disrupt their lives greatly. I can't bring myself to do that, especially to my little nieces. A few hours after I made the post, I decided to have a talk with Vernon after I came home from work. It went somewhat okay. I followed some advice and comments about starting over on my terms. I asked him questions I needed answers to, and he gave me answers. I wasn't completely satisfied, but it's a start. I told him I would give our marriage a chance, but he had to know that he was completely done with Felicity and would be completely on board with this. I told him to stop with the love bombing because it was making me uncomfortable. Told him I would absolutely not be having kids in the near future, and told him I was in no way ready to be his wife and we would continue with our separate rooms. Surprisingly, he was on board with all of this and said that he wasn't a boy anymore and that he was getting older and he needed to sort himself out and make things right. I asked him if he only had a change of heart because he wanted me to take care of him in his old age, and he said no. He said he realized that Felicity isn't what he's always wanted and started seeing her manipulative, toxic ways. His words. He said he was willing to put the house in only my name entirely, as it's currently 40% mine, as a way of showing that he is all in and would mess up if I give us a second chance. He said he was willing to give me as much space as I need. He said he'll have a word with his family about me needing time and space and taking baby steps. Honestly, I don't know where this will go at this point. I don't know the direction in which we are headed, but I'm willing to try so I can have a free conscience. I've started making a backup plan to leave, but that's in the worst case scenario. I'll update if anything significant happens. Now for the second update 3 weeks later. Hey everyone! So a few things happened that I thought you all needed to know. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for your care and support. I never thought I'd cry after reading words, but you have no idea how much courage your kind words have given me. I told Vernon to go through with the transferring of the house in my name, and he did. I guess he knew he would be getting more money, but now I own the house. Still, nobody was telling me anything about the 180 change. So I decided to go to Felicity, which is stupid, I know, but she was the only one who was willing to give me any information, since she's spiteful, and I think I got what I needed. It's not much, but it's enough to cement my decision. Turns out, Felicity had her womb removed when she was younger, so she can't give Vernon children, and the whole family found out and turned against her. The uncle has been speaking of retiring, and Vernon has been at war with the uncle's sons to either take over the business or become one of the decision makers, and a child would guarantee that he would be given a large sum of the company's shares that would be in his name and a child's. And since Felicity couldn't give him one, that was the solution. Felicity told me as much as she knew, so I went to one of Vernon's cousins. I confronted him about what Felicity said, and after a heated back and forth, he finally confirmed everything. I don't know why, but that hurt. Even though I knew it was too good to be true, I still held on to hope that maybe I was wrong. After conversation, I decided to play along until I could get out. He completely cut off Felicity, and it's scary just how much he's acting like she never existed. I put in a transfer to a city 12 hours away from here. My head teacher knows my situation and swore not to tell them. I brought up moving to my family, and majority of them said I'd be selfish if I did that, and their whole lives are here and all that. But honestly, I feel I should put myself first, but told them it was just a thought and that I would never do that. My mom and brother have been my biggest support system, and I'm taking them with me. My cousin is moving with my little nieces to his wife's city, so that's that. I found a house where my mom, brother, 2 cousins, and I will stay. I then listed the house for sale on a private auction page. This will cost a big blowout, but I won't be here for it, so lol. I'll leave this place in about 40 days, and the most tiring thing is to get my affairs in order without raising suspicion. I refused to be intimate with Vernon and told him I wasn't ready. He told me we'll work on my time, but I see him getting more and more frustrated each day. Even though I'm scared for myself and my family and what they will do when they find out, I've decided to leave and not changing my mind. I'm still young, and I honestly don't want to end up like my mother, in a loveless marriage with a cheating alcoholic. It took the words of internet strangers for me to realize that, and I'm so grateful. Sorry if this is all over the place. I'll update if anything changes. Now for more comments before the last update. I'm so glad you have a plan to get out. One more suggestion I will make, and it may sound absolutely horrible, but if you can get on some kind of birth control in case Vernon does the absolutely worst thing a man can do to a woman, you've got some protection from pregnancy. Stay safe, OP. Oh, wow. I have to totally agree with this. Please take any and all precautions to prevent pregnancy. If a child is all that your husband is after, he may do the unthinkable to get one. I'm not sure what country you are in, but he may have a say over your future if you do get pregnant. Be careful, and please update when you are safely away. Go and save yourself and your loved ones, OP. With the latest info you've found, I think down the road when Vernon has secured his wealth/inheritance, there is very high possibility Felicity will come back into the picture, and you will be removed or be in a loveless marriage, and a third wheel in your own marriage. Stay safe. Now for the last update after 2 more weeks. Hello again. I didn't think I would be making an update this soon, but I messed up big time. I've never been so scared in my life. So a couple of days after I made last update, my sister-in-law found a post and showed it to Vernon. I knew my time was up, that I had to make a move. So I let my mom and brother know that we had to be ready to leave at any moment. Vernon was not happy, and he made it very clear. He told me we were to have a family meeting the next day, and I just knew we had to get out. When he went to attend evening prayers, I gathered all important belongings I had and told mom and brother to get ready because we had to leave. I gave them the information they needed to leave in case I didn't make it. We had a meeting in the afternoon and it wasn't pretty. The uncle came, and he was angry that I brought shame to the family with my actions, and everyone took that as a green light. I ended up with a split lip and a dislocated shoulder and a few broken ribs, but at least I didn't go down without a fight. Looking back, I feel proud of myself. I spoke up for myself. I defended myself and the people I love. I honestly thought I wasn't going to come out alive. I couldn't breathe properly. I couldn't move. And for a while, I just thought of ending myself because I was in so much pain. But my mom and brother managed to get me out. I don't know how. I don't remember a lot because my memory became foggy. But I got out and I'm alive. We reached our new home. My family's still adjusting and I'm still healing. I hope I heal in time to start working. We are safe. And even though I'm scared that they might find us, I'm relieved and I feel free. I just thought I'd let everyone know how I'm doing. A lot has happened in so little time that sometimes I feel like it's a dream and I'll snap back to reality. I won't say much, and I don't think I'll make more posts after this one. Thank you all. Thank you to everyone who supported me. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for making me realize that I deserved more, that I am worth more. To all the women that shared their stories with me, you all gave me the courage that I needed to stand up for myself. No words can ever express my gratitude to you internet strangers. Also, thank you to the gentleman who asked me out to lunch, lol. Grace, I know you'll see this. I don't hate you. Just know that you're a woman and you'll also get married, but I hope your husband's family doesn't treat you the way you treated me. I wish I could be there to see the look on all your faces when the new owner of the house comes and kicks your beloved brother out of his place. I wish you everything you deserve in all your future endeavors. F you, Grace. I hope you and your family get everything you guys deserve. I'm so happy Opie's out and has supportive people around her. Hopefully she never has to deal with X or his garbage family again. F that entire family. So nice to not have to follow AITA rules about civility, when there's nothing civil that can be said about most people involved in a situation like this. I hope Opie and her family are able to stay safe from those monsters. I'm a petty person, so I'm hoping that Opie at some point can get some revenge, like organize a meeting for that uncle or give him diarrhea or some such. I remember reading that last post and being terrified that this would happen. Like the most dangerous time with an abuser is when you leave, and it's not over. I wish Opie all the best and pray for her safety. So proud that she was able to get out, and I hope she presses charges against the monster for what he did to her. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my younger brother that I'm not his dad? I'm 19 and my younger brother, we'll call Ed, is 6. My father, 49, has been in and out of our lives for the past 6 years. He was working abroad and providing for us during that time. But us kids have slowly started to forget his presence around the house. Then in 2021, he had a huge fight with my mother, 48, and decided to leave us under the guise of visiting his relative's funeral, and we haven't seen him since. It's been very tough for my mother, who's tried her utmost best to make the best of such an awful situation for us kids without much help. So me and my sibling, who are mostly a bunch of teens, have tried our best to make things generally easier for her, including assisting in raising Ed. Ed always used to call me by my name, but recently, like a few months ago, he's picked up the habit of calling me Dad. It felt very awkward at first, but after some thought, I figured it was an honest mistake. I didn't pay much attention to it. But it didn't stop there. Ed started calling me Dad more. whether it was in private or whether it was in front of the family, and I was extremely confused. So earlier this afternoon, I picked him up from his school. When we reached home, I went to my mother and jokingly said, "This random child has been following me the entire time. I think he's lost." We have a way of joking that I think is pretty wholesome. I'm sure he enjoys it too. And then playfully tugged me on the arm and said, "How dare you say that? I'm your son." Now here's where I might be the a-hole. I didn't want him to grow up believing that I was something I'm not. So I gently responded, "Ed, I'm not your dad. I'm your older brother, okay? We share the same mother." Ed replied, "You're my dad now, because my real dad is never coming back." Hearing that tore my heart, and I didn't know how to respond. So I hugged him, but he didn't seem too happy and left. My mother pulled me aside later and told me that I shouldn't have said what I said, and that I have hurt his feelings. I tried to explain that as much as I understand his feelings, I wanted him to know who we truly are to each other. I didn't want to devastate him later in life. I also mentioned how awkward it made me feel. She said that maybe Ed is calling me dad not because I'm his actual father, but maybe because I'm one of the safest masculine examples he's got. Upon reflection, I'm starting to feel very guilty about what I did. I think my mother is right. Perhaps I was a little too harsh. I need some people to talk sense into me. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. While he may see you as a father figure, it's okay that you don't want the title. Social-wise, calling a 19-year-old dad and a 48-year-old mom could also be very awkward. Your mother should look into family counseling, or even individual for your brother. It's a heavy load for you all. Never mind when the 19-year-old also calls her mom. Mom likely won't always be there. For example, if it's OP taking his brother to the park alone. Yeah, but sometimes she will, and in those situations, things can get very awkward. Also, a 6-year-old and a 19-year-old can still be a hard situation to deal with if there are unpleasant people around that would judge OP because they assume he is 18 dad. To be fair, the only thing that's saving me from that are my looks. I look like in my late 20s, so it's nothing crazy when people see me take my little brother out for ice cream, for example. My 15-year-old brother even told me that his classmates assumed I was his dad upon first sight.